Now we move into Part B, writing each experiment subsection. The structure being used here is highly deliberate. The opening sentence sets the stage by identifying the scale and nature of the collection. The subsequent sentences then provide supporting evidence. Sentence 2 is a visual reference, pointing the reader toward Figure 4, which shows a sample. Sentence 3 is a citation, grounding the data in previous work. Notice how the flow continues to reinforce reproducibility with sentence 4, which makes the explicit promise that all of the files used for evaluation are publicly available. This is a crucial statement. The paragraph then naturally refers ahead, stating that they evaluated 4 question types, with a quantitative breakdown presented in a Table 5. The key to writing a rigorous 4.1 training section is making sure that every sentence in the opening paragraph serves a precise descriptive function. To that end, the paragraph basically answers 6 specific questions. 1. What is the scale of the data? 2. What does the data look like? 3. Where did it come from? 4. Can I check it myself? 5. What is the focus of the test? By previewing the evaluation. And finally, 6. Where can I see the hard numbers? Also, to improve writing precision, remember to format large numbers using rounding and thousand separators. And always be deliberate with verb tense. Use the past tense for actions you performed, but use the simple present tense when referring to the evaluation structure or data source. We have analyzed the practical utility of the training paragraph. Now, let's elevate that analysis by understanding the academic logic behind every sentence. Sentence 1, which introduces the dataset and its scale, uses the rhetorical move of introducing data and material specification. The effect is direct. It establishes credibility through quantitative detail and signals the data's robustness. Sentence 2, by pointing to a visual sample, illustrates data with a sample, which enhances transparency. Sentence 3, which identifies the data source, makes the move of acknowledging data source, which is crucial because it cites prior work to legitimize provenance and reproducibility. Sentence 4, by describing public availability, assures reproducibility, which builds trust. The final 2 sentences set up the subsequent reading. Sentence 5 previews data by introducing the evaluation types, and Sentence 6 comments on data summary, which completes the description by linking to the supporting quantitative table. We have finished detailing the training environment. Now we move to Section 4.2, Retrieval Systems Compared, which establishes comparability. The overarching goal here is to explain what Tritus is competing against. The paragraph begins by stating that Tritus learns query transformations that are specifically tailored for a given search engine. This is the key design principle. Our experimental evaluation focuses on 2 popular general-purpose search engines, which are Google and AltaVista. We compare the results produced by the original systems against the results produced by Tritus using the corresponding search engine-specific transformations. Additionally, the authors explored combining results from both search engines, which is TRL, and evaluated Ask Jeeves. The entire paragraph in Section 4.2 is built on 6 logical steps. Step 1 starts by reminding that Tritus works with search engines. Step 2 defines the experimental scope, which is Google plus AltaVista. Step 3 explains the key comparative logic, which is baseline versus baseline plus Tritus. Steps 4 and 5 ensure breadth by adding more comparative systems, specifically TRL and Ask Jeeves. Finally, Step 6 leads to all 6 systems with precise labels. The table given here shows how Section 4.2 uses 6 concise sentences to justify a complex comparison strategy. The core move is establishing the relationship between Tritus and the baselines. Sentence 1 states the core design principle, which clarifies the concept of grounding. This principle is immediately put into practice by Sentence 2, which identifies the experimental focus on 2 search engines. Sentence 3 then explains the comparative setup, establishing the baseline versus optimized logic. To ensure the experiment is comprehensive, sentences 4 and 5 add extra systems for comparison, which demonstrates thoroughness. The paragraph ends with Sentence 6, which signals the transition to the system list, formally concluding the writing of the introductory paragraph. Having established comparability, we now need objectivity. The entire paragraph here is structured to move from traditional definition to necessary modification. Sentence 1 is the topic sentence, stating that information retrieval systems are usually compared based on the quality of the retrieved document sets. Sentence 2 then goes like, this quality is traditionally quantified using two metrics, which are recall and precision. Sentences 3 and 4 then define these terms. Each document is judged to be either relevant or non-relevant, and precision is calculated as the fraction of relevant documents retrieved. The opening of sentences 5 and 6 reveals a limitation. To measure recall, we need to mark every document, which is a daunting task for any large collection. This limitation motivates the introduction of definition 4.1. The paragraph concludes by demonstrating this with an example. We can break down this passage into 5 functional blocks that systematically persuade the reader of the metric's validity. The first block, covering sentences 1 through 4, is introducing conventional IR metrics. The second block, sentences 5 and 6, is about explaining their practical limits at web scale. The third block is the solution, introducing a feasible alternative, which is precision at K. The fourth block, formally defining precision, provides the necessary rigor. The fifth and final block, covering sentences 8 and 9, demonstrates it through a numerical example. This structure, problem, justification, solution, definition, example, is a robust template for presenting and defending your chosen metrics. This large table, which spans 2 slides, formalizes the writing of the entire metrics paragraph. Let's start with the first 4 sentences that establish the foundation. Sentence 1 establishes the evaluation dimension, which is the quality of retrieval. The rhetorical move here is general statement and conceptual framing, which introduces the basis for comparison. Sentence 2 names the 2 key metrics, which are recall and precision. This is the definition preview and citation grounding, which signals reliance on well-established IR metrics. Sentence 3 then states the binary judgment assumption that documents are judged relevant or non-relevant. This is the operational definition, which clarifies how relevance is operationalized. Finally, sentence 4 defines both metrics formally, which provides a clear conceptual distinction between precision and recall. The final 5 sentences of this paragraph structure the writing around 3 essential steps: limitation, adaptation, and clarification. Step 1 is limitation. Sentence 5 explains the practical requirement of recall, which prepares the reader. Sentence 6 formally identifies the limitation, which justifies why full recall cannot be used. Step 2 is adaptation. Sentence 7 introduces the modified metric of precision at K through its definition. Step 3 is clarification. Sentence 8 sets up a concrete illustration, which is the example introduction. Sentence 9 then performs the computation, ensuring that the abstract formula is translated into an intuitive metric. We now arrive at the final part of the setup, section 4.4, evaluation queries and their relevance judgments. Sentence 1 is the topic sentence and the transition, stating that once we have trained Tritus as discussed above, we evaluate its performance against the retrieval systems in section 4.2 using the metrics described in section 4.3. This clearly links the entire process. At the same time, sentence 2 establishes the data source. Sentence 3 provides the scale and quality assurance. The final sentences narrow the focus. Sentence 4 states we focus our evaluation on 4 basic question types, and sentence 5 justifies this choice by stating that these are the most common types of questions that were found. The paragraph in question demonstrates transparency and clarity by moving systematically from a high-level transition to a justified claim of data representativeness. The process starts with the transition in sentence 1, which clearly links the entire experimental setup together. Next, sentences 2 and 3 immediately specify the real-world source and scale of the test data. This factual basis allows the authors to move to the third step, which is sentence 4, where they define the focus question types. The final step, sentence 5, is crucial for academic validity because it justifies their representativeness with citation, demonstrating that the chosen question types accurately reflect real user behavior.